So for football fans, I guess, up and down the country, it's a bit like Christmas Eve, ready for the season to get underway properly. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. It's feel like it's been a long time coming. Obviously, pre-season is such a brilliant initiative to get the lads ready for what we hope is going to be a fantastic season. So it's a great time because all the fans obviously can be optimistic, and we've had probably a bit of hurt over the last few years. So we're just trying to drive a little bit of hope. I think the players have done that pre-season, and I think they're a bit like a coiled spring, chomping at the bit.
A bit different as well, starting with the League Cup, of course, last weekend, but great to get a win in that. Does that just give you an extra boost winning a competitive game going into the season? I
just think we have to remind ourselves it's a new group. We've brought in around 10 players to sort of 50% of a squad really. So it's going to take time for them to settle in. I think what it was for the players was probably a confirmation of, we're worthy. We're going to be able to more than compete at this level if we're on it. And I think they showed that their ability was there. They showed that their conditioning was there, and it'll always come down to a mentality that they have to be accountable for. So, we're pretty confident that we have a certain footballing identity that's going to work. I feel like again it was great for me to have a confirmation that the players are the right players, but have they got the mentality now to do that week in and week out? And that's what we're hoping to find out, and that's what we're driving, and that's what we're leaving no stone unturned around.
We just spoke to Josh Davis and he's told us how tough pre-season has been physically. Are you happy with where the fitness is now going into the first game?
Yeah, I think it's highly important that these are professional athletes. They need to be fit as a fiddle, and they've worked extremely hard. But we've brought them down the last week or two, and we've steadily brought them down to peak tomorrow. That's where the science is. So it's just credit to them because, like I say, the demands have been high. But if we're going to be successful, it's a minimum requirement really. So again, I talk about ability, conditioning and mentality. Their ability is something that is on me, whether they're good enough, because I'm the one that recruits them, along with Tom. In terms of their conditioning, it's something that we work with them on, so it's a little bit of a collaboration. But in terms of mentality, the mentality of the group is very good. It now comes down to the mentality of the individual. So we're excited to get out of the back of pre-season for all of the hard work. It's about maintaining now and keeping them peak for games.
Mentioning Josh, it must be great for you to see him get off the mark in his first competitive game, especially for a striker to get in the goal so early.
Yeah, I think again, I've said previously, haven't I? The market that we're in, we have to look at maybe where there's possibly a hole in a player that we have to fill. And I think with Josh, it's probably the type of team that he needs to play in and confidence. And I think he's come here. I think he's settling very quickly, which is what we're needing to do with all of the players. Because not only did I have to settle in at the training ground, in the team, new teammates, it's obviously off the field. A lot of them have invested and moved over here. Partners, jobs, all of the above. So, we've spent a lot of time, energy, and effort in trying to support them and help them. So we're on the front foot with that, and I think Josh is one of them that's settling in very quickly. He's got every reason to be confident because his performances through pre-season have been of a high level. We're more than happy with the player that we've got, and actually, overly impressed with him. He's been excellent through pre-season, and now the demands are to do it through the course of the season because it's a new ball game now, and to start off like he did last week was highly impressive.
I know you won't want to put too much pressure on him, but how impressed have you been with Will Gray? I know he's only 17, but he seems to become such an integral part of the team through season and starting last weekend.
I would say, listen, Will just like Isaac England and Will Brook and some of the others, they've got a real bright future if they want it. It's very early days. You say about him playing an integral part of pre-season, he's probably started less than half the games. He had an opportunity last week, which I feel like he fared well in. We've done some individual analysis with him this week on how he can be better. He's just going to grow with games, you would like to think. He needs football matches, like all young lads. They need to build their muscle memory, their experience, and that's probably the one thing that he's out of his control at the moment. He's gaining experience. So if he keeps performing in training and obviously play the way he did last week and better, he'll be in there. But he's got competition. Sangi, Jack Price, Isaac England, JTC. They're all really close. So no time to rest on their laurels. But he did great. And I'm sure if he continues to do so, he's going to be really pushing for a place in the team.
So we're just talking about players. Obviously, Will Brook as well had a great in the penalty shootout. And he has got competition for places, so he must be buoyed with a bit of confidence after his performance as well.
Yeah, I felt like neither goalkeeper really, stuck their head above the parapet through pre-season. I don't know whether that's the nature of obviously pre-season in itself, but what I would say is I thought his performance last week was excellent. It's now the mentality to do it again and again and again consistently. So over to him. Yeah, really good performance in goal. Really pleased with him. And again, he just needs to keep improving. Young lad. But I'm sure if he keeps training the way he's training and working as hard as he's working, then there's no reason why he shouldn't. But he needs to bring that mentality and the consistency to his performances.
And not just for the goalkeepers, how important is it that you do have competition in positions all over the pitch?
It's something that we're working incredibly hard on. That's the hardest part of my job at the moment. Working really hard. A lot of disappointments in terms of recruitment and trying to get people on board. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough, and we do need a couple more. There's no doubt. I really believe that it could be really pivotal for us to get 2 more players in, maybe 3. But again, we're bound by certain situations and getting the right ones, and as well finances. It's unfortunately, if a player demands too much, we can't get there, and we have to look after the safety of the football club moving forward. So we're working hard. We're in every room. It's sometimes soul destroying, of course, because you get your heart set on certain players, but ultimately it's you have to just keep chipping away. God willing, the right players come through the door. But we're in a great place as it is at the moment. This group can certainly kick on and do well, but they're going to need some additional help because, as you just alluded to there, it's a squad game now. It's not so much a team game of 11 anymore. We're going to need everybody. All of the players, in the squad will feature this year.
I know you said you missed out at one at the very last hour, kind of last weekend, and you had a deal almost in place. I guess how frustrating is it when you do feel like you're so close to adding a player? Yeah,
we've had another scenario this week, so it's we're just it's part of football. It's what goes on behind the scenes. Maybe I'm a little bit too vocal about it. I know a lot of other clubs have to go through it as well. So we're not in our isolation, but it's I always just try and be authentic. Let the fans know that we are working hard. We are trying to get players through the door. It isn't for the want of trying. Recent player wants to sign for the football club, but have certain demands that we can't meet, and that's where we just have to be realistic. So, look, what we've done so far is we've brought in. I feel like we've been quite astute in terms of our recruitment for where we are. I think we're really blood in youth. I think we've got pace, youth, athleticism, a really good balance of experience in there, and a togetherness and an identity of playing. So. Yeah, look, this group is excellent, and we've got to be very mindful about getting the right characters, the right players that are going to suit us and the system and the changing room. So it's not all straight lines. There's a lot of obstacles to overcome. But rest assured that we're doing our due diligence, and we're in every room to make sure we're ready when the right one comes along.
You've got a couple of loanees in so far. Is that a market that you want to maybe exploit a little bit more as well?
Not necessarily a bit more. It's like I said, to be honest, it's got to be the right player. Regardless of cost for me. Regardless of loan, permanent, free agent, whatever it is, it has to be the right player. So, I'm sure at the moment with the Premier League and the players coming back from the World Cup, there's plenty of players that we can take out of, Premier League clubs, Championship clubs that can come on loan. But I just think that, we have to be totally sure. We have to get the right ones in. So again, I've said it before, but I'm trying to be proactively patient. We've got a couple of weeks now into the window, so this group are more than capable until we can get a couple of more recruits in with them.
And do you need a couple to leave potentially before you can maybe bring some?
Ideally, yeah. I think it's what we set out before. There was a discussion, there was an understanding that they'd be moving on. Obviously, it's got to be right for them, but it's dragged out a little bit longer than what we'd anticipated. But this is football. Again, we have to roll with the punches, and what we do know is we're in a position to bring people in. And I'm sure people who know that they're not really in the plans want to get out and play football. So I think everybody's working hard to make that happen.
Do you feel like you're in a better position than you were at the end of last season?
Time will tell. I think yes. I think I'm very optimistic about the coming season. Again, I don't want to overpromise the fans who have had a bit of disappointment over the last few years, but there's certainly a lot of hope. There's a lot of optimism. The training ground's in a really good place. We're bouncing. The atmosphere is absolutely at the other end of the spectrum from when I first walked in. So. I think the players believe in it, the staff believe in it, and I think we've now just got to go out and do the work. So time will tell.
As we go into the first game, what will define success for you this season?
It's a good question. Be the best version of yourself. You know, I'm not going to put a number on it and put that pressure on the players. We have an internal expectation. I'm sure every fan and every football person will be making their predictions. I know my lad keeps telling me about all these predictions that come through TikTok and all of that stuff that I don't really get involved in. But yeah, it's all hearsay. It's all devil's playground stuff, and it's stuff that I just try and think with reason and logic. I try and take each day as it comes, make sure that the players are at their best, that their attitude and applications through the roof, they're healthy, and that they're invested in our process, you know, our way of playing. So I think what we need to do this year is steady the ship, but perhaps we can also go on and do something pretty extraordinary if there's enough belief in it.
And just finally, there's over 1,100 fans making their way up to Tranmere tomorrow. That just must mean a lot to you, and also just how much to have a good start for them as well as the club. Yeah,
I think there's another update. I think we're nearly close to selling out now, and this that just shows the belief that's in the place. You know, this and we won't be defined by tomorrow's result, but you know, we're expecting to go there and, you know, give an unbelievable account of ourselves. You know, we want to hit the ground running. We want to be strong, pacey, on the front foot, and we want to win duels. You know, forget tactics to start with. We want to win duels and we want to win battles, and then hopefully we'll have the right game strategy to go on and win the game. But to see all of the fans invest in it, I mean, it does just show the hope and belief that's around the place, and the players are certainly buoyed by that. I, as a manager, am you know, honoured really that they want to come out and support a team that we've obviously been working hard. I suppose all of the disappointments through the summer are worth it when you know that you're selling out the away end. So it's a huge thank you from me and the players to say to the fans, I know how hard it is to come by, the money to earn to get on the coaches and the cars and the petrol and the services and, you know, the tickets. It's a real privilege to be a part of.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.